expected to get the 3 points tonight. As I said, the rich vein of form, bar last week's performance, and to be fair, it wasn't all that bad in the first half. They stayed with the high-flying Galwegians, but a penalty decision and another goal right on the stroke of half-time put pay to any chances. But they'll be hoping to get back on winning ways tonight, and it's important that they start early and dominate a Finn Harps team that must be lacking in confidence, having come down from the Premier Division and not held a spot up the top end of the table at all.
Well, just to let you know that Treaty are without suspended Andy Spain and Ben O'Riordan for this evening's game. Willie Armshaw, Anto O'Donnell and Conor Barry come into the starting 11. Darren Collins and Mark Murphy return to the matchday squad. Kevin Jordan and Philip De Silva return to the starting 11 for the visitors Finn Harps. Dahi McCallion misses out through suspension. Rainey, Farrar, Okwute, Bradley and Porter miss out through injury on a night when both sides, as I said earlier, will be hoping that they can get back to winning ways. Match official for tonight is Paul Norton from Dublin. Emmett Dinan is the assistant referee number 1. David Berry is assistant referee number 2. Darrell Carolyn is the fourth official for this evening's game. The referee's observer at the Markets Field tonight is Tony Ryan. And it's a game where both sides will be looking for goals in the run-in to the bank holiday weekend, when there's back-to-back fixtures over next weekend, and Finn Harps will be hoping that they can get a couple of points on the board here tonight to put them on their merry way for that. They're at home to Kerry FC, then away to Galway United over the bank holiday. Treaty are away to Waterford this night week, then they're home to Wexford on the bank holiday Monday. Incidentally, for Treaty United tonight, Darren Nwankwo makes his 10th appearance for the Shannon Siders since he came into the side this season. Only one other player from the Treaty Academy has managed that. That's Fionn Doherty. And we're seconds away from kick-off here now at the Markets Field. Paul Norton gets proceedings underway. And tonight's game, as I say, brought to you in association with M&C Property. And Treaty United will have an early throw in here. Mark Ludden with that long delivery, looking for Dean George, took a nudge in the back there. Did Dean George from Noe Baba, but still managed to get control of that. And here's a touch for Nwankwo, as I said, his 10th appearance for the Shannon Siders, and he's been mighty impressive since he's got into the side. Early touch for Stephen Christopher, operating on the right side for Treaty United now. And Alec Byrne eventually wins a throw-in for the home side. But bright start by Finn Harps, Tommy, and not content to let Treaty have the ball, and a hard press from them early on here.
They certainly did. The first two challenges, I'd say young Darren Nwankwo, who's been excellent in fairness, just taking that extra half a second and got closed down straight away. And then we saw Alec Byrne in the middle of the park trying to take an extra touch, and he was closed down. So Finn Harps has started off really trying to force the pace and put pressure on the Treaty side, but again, it's to be expected. Treaty have just got to stay with it and find their own rhythm and find their own pace to the game.
Finn Harps, of course, no strangers to the Markets Field. They haven't been here in quite a bit of time. Last time they were here, they were involved in playoffs against Limerick FC back in 2018, and were successful then in ultimately getting promotion. But they've been back since, mind you, in Limerick, but not to play either Limerick or Treaty United. They were on Shannon side in 2021 in the FAI Cup when they took on local junior outfit Fairview Rangers up at the Fair Green, and they beat the local junior club 3-0 after extra time in the first round of the FAI Cup. One other meeting between Treaty and Finn Harps in a pre-season at the AUL complex in Clonshock last term. And both sides feeling one another out in these early stages. That ball comes to Christopher. Christopher under a bit of pressure from Ryan Flood. But Treaty come away with it. Alec Byrne has it now. Touch for Conor Barry. Back in the side tonight. Barry spent a little bit of time at Harps as well. Ludden tries to float one over the Finn Harps defence for Willie Armshaw to run onto. But solid defending at the back by the Donegal men. But again, Ludden floating one into the box looking for Dean George. Byrne to Ludden. Ludden puts a head to it, and Curran gets a touch. Nice ball from Curran to Conor Barry. He's got Stephen Christopher outside him. Nice ball down the flank to Christopher. He stood up there. It'll be a throw in to Treaty United. Dave Rogers trying to mould this side together with Finn Harps, Tommy, and many people would have been surprised that they find themselves in the lower echelons of the table at this almost midpoint of the season, having come down from the Premier.
Very true, Leonard, because as I said, they were always competitive. Even in when they were up in the Premier Division, they took major scalps all the way along the way against the bigger clubs. So they were always fierce competitors. It's a source of pride going up to Finn Park, and they're trying to protect the records that they've made up there. It's a very tough place to go. So I am really surprised to find him down, as I say, in 9th position in the table. I honestly thought, and maybe in time he will get it right. He's an experienced coach. They will find their way and shoot back up the table, but hopefully, from a Treaty perspective, not tonight.
Well, one of their wins this season has been against Treaty United up at Finn Park, and on that particular night, Ryan Rainey, who misses out tonight, and Philip De Silva scored in that, which was a comfortable 2-0 victory on the evening. And here's De Silva now, takes it on his chest, does well, does the Finn Harps striker, finds Ryan Flood. Flood moves it through to Michael Harris. Harrison eventually comes out to Seamus Keogh on the right. Keogh goes inside Ludden, does well with his right foot, moves it to his left, back to Ryan Flood, and Flood is forced to come back. And eventually it's with Keith Cowan, the Finn Harps skipper. He to Noah Baba. Baba to Ryan Flood, and Flood spreads it over to the left hand side. Smaller than usual crowd at the Marcus Field for this evening's contest. Over 1,200 spectators watched the sides do battle at Finn Park 6 weeks ago. Darren Nwankwo does well there against Philippe De Silva. Lee Devitt tries to get a touch on for three. Conor Barry then tries to ease it over the Finn Harps defence, but it's cut out there. And Ryan Flood takes possession of the ball in midfield again. Willie Armshaw looked to have lent into the Finn Harps man, but got away with it. There's Noah Baba again. Ball moved forward for Sean O'Donnell. And Karen Dunn, Bourne man, can't keep it in. 10 appearances so far, he's 11 tonight. 1 red card for young O'Donnell in his Harps career so far. Here's Alec Byrne for Treaty United. Back to Darren Nwankwo. Nwankwo for Hallahan. Byrne again in midfield, takes it on for Treaty United, looking for movement. Willie Armshaw becomes available. Mark Ludden goes left. Ludden, early ball into the box. Capably dealt with back there by Catligo and Mashigo.
Yeah, he just needed to try and beat the first defender there, but it's a good move by Treaty. They played it out well from the back. Stephen Christopher, really impressive because he's a natural attacking player, and playing as a right back tonight, he wants to go forward, and himself and Conor Barry have caused problems already down the right hand or down the left hand side of the Finn Harps defence there.
Ludden's long delivery into the box, looking for the head of Enda Curran, comes all the way out to Dean George. Dean George on the far side of the box for Treaty United. Mashigo stands him up, and Mashigo does well, but concedes a corner kick, and it'll be a first corner of the evening for Treaty United at the Marcus Field on the stand side here, the Garryowen side of this venue. Mark Ludden going across to take the corner, making his 9th appearance of the season for Treaty tonight. 8 of those from a starting position. Of course, coming off the bench to score the winner against Athlone Town on his return from a long layoff through injury. Delivers one in on top of the keeper. Ant O'Donnell gets ahead on that. And good solid keeping by Finn Harps netminder Tim Heemer. And Darren Nwankwo has a little word in his ear from referee Paul Norton, but I think Tommy Barrett would expect Nwankwo to be making those kind of challenges on the German keeper.
In fairness, I don't think the keeper had any issues with it either. And the referee blew the whistle. He wanted to have a word, but Finn Harps had kept 3 players up the pitch from the corner. And I think the keeper, once he had it, wanted to launch it straight away, but the referee stopped him. So Dave Rogers wasn't very happy with the referee on that occasion, but just shows you the intent. As I say, they dealt with it and looked to launch straight away at very brave, getting the 3 players up front. I'd like to see Treaty then, take the 2 wide men and a man through the middle. If the wide man is over on Stephen Christopher, I'd like to see Stephen Christopher run towards Ludds, who's taken the corner, and then see what the man who's up front does. So just small little things that Treaty can work on, trying to upset and outmaneuver their Finn Harps counterparts.
I think what is evident early doors here, Tommy, is that both sides it's a physical contest, and both sides are giving as good as they're getting out there. And as I speak, Lee Devitt late there.
Yeah, it was unfortunate
on Ryan Flood.
Yeah, I think that his hand was raised. He didn't make any attempt to catch. He did catch him, but I thought there was no intent in it. It was just one of those when he got sold a dummy, and in trying to turn, he caught Ryan Flood, who seems to be one of their main playmakers. They seem to nice left leg in him already. Sprayed a couple of passes, but they seem fairly keen to get the ball to him. They're playing 3 at the back, Finn Harps, but the minute they have the ball, the 2 wide men of the 4 midfielders are back, so it's a 5-man defence.
Kevin Jordan on it now for the visitors. He to Mashigo inside to Flood. Flood played some football in the States prior to joining Finn Harps at the start of the season, and his last club there being Phoenix Rising. He previously played with FC Arizona, and not shy to get involved. 3 yellow cards for him so far this season. Lee Devitt clears it for the Shannonsiders. Ball goes in behind the Treaty defence. Darren Nwankwo leaned in there on Sean O'Donnell. Referee Norton had no hesitation in pointing to the spot, and I'm not too sure what was going through Darren Nwankwo's mind as he leant in on Sean O'Donnell there, Tommy, and he gave the referee a decision to make, and Paul Norton pointed to the spot.
Yeah, I have to be honest, Leonard, I think it was one of the easiest penalty decisions that he's had to make, that I have seen anyway at the Markets field so far. I think it was a pretty obvious. He just got the wrong side. He's come from his blind side. The boat running away from the goal towards the corner flag, but the Finn Harps defenders come from the blind side of Darren, and here we go, penalty. Yeah,
Ryan Flood will take it. Ryan Rainey normally takes the spot kicks for Finn Harps. He's had 3 all season, but it's the American who's going to take this one. Shane Hallan has already saved the penalty this season in the Treaty United goal against Kerry FC, albeit at the other end. Up he comes, and Flood buries it in the right hand corner. And I don't know, Shane Hallan is clapping. I don't know whether he's clapping the penalty official taker, but you'd want to be careful if he's clapping the official. But Ryan Flood making no mistake. So after 12 minutes at the Markets field, Finn Harps go a goal up through Ryan Flood. He's 3rd of the season, that one. And you were saying, Tommy, he was influential early on.
Yeah.
But he showed how influential he was there from the spot.
Yeah.
1-0 to Finn Harps in the 12th minute here at the Markets field.
A super strike. I don't know, many keepers would have saved that. Hit it with great venom and great purpose, and accurate as well in the corner. So not the start the Treaty wanted by any matter of means.
Harps then tried to get things moving again. Nice touch on by Lee Devitt there, and that ball comes from end of current to Willie Armshaw. Willie Armstrong keeps running for Treaty United, goes down, wins a free kick, and I think that might have been for a free that Enda Curran had been screaming for a handball, but the referee was close to that. Willie Armstrong just nudged off the ball. A free kick, Tommy, but the slightest of touches.
Slightest of touches, but I suppose when you're running at pace, any bit of touch is going to knock you out of stride. And as I say, it's Willie's kind of distance. I'd be shocked if anybody else is going to get on this. So a wonderful opportunity for Treaty to try strike back within a couple of minutes of going down.
14 minutes then here at the Markets Field in this encounter in the SSE Artillery League First Division, and Finn Harps enjoy that 1-0 lead. If you're joining us late here at the Markets Field, a Ryan Flood penalty in the 12th minute after Darren Nwankwo had taken down Sean O'Donnell. Free kick then is touched to Willie Armstrong. Willie Armstrong gets under that particular one. Alec Byrne back flicked it to him, and we've seen that work, Tommy, cross channel of late, but on this occasion probably just a little bit too much on the roll back.
Yeah, he wanted to go and meet it straight away, and he had to adjust his stride slightly, and as I say, just had to go another foot or so across, and it just knocked him off balance, and it resulted in it going harmlessly over the bar.
Hemer then with the kick out for Harps. Played underage with Borussia Mönchengladbach. Took a bit of time out of the game then, before teaming up with Finn Harps. Crossfield ball delivered by Conor Barry in the direction of Mark Ludden. Ludden needs a runner now, gets a runner in the shape of Willie Armstrong. Armstrong, strong challenge from Noel Baba, and Treaty United win that throw-in. Mark Ludden again will probably opt to go long here. Dean George has come near post, and the corner is dropped off to the back. Darren Nwankwo is up, trying to atone for that earlier error, the concession of the penalty. Long delivery from Ludden in there. Nwankwo gets a head on it, and Hemer doesn't get near it. There's a bit of head tennis in the box. Out it comes to Willie Armstrong, and he lifts it over the Finn Harps crossbar. Always rising, that one, Tommy. Just got under the ball, but that throw-in from Ludden caused a bit of disarray in the Harps defence. Yeah,
he certainly does. He's got a variety of throws, really, because he can go height and launch them. But that was a very flat throw with pace, and as I said, Darren Nwankwo is the front man, and he's getting up and stopping a clear header coming out. And when it rolled out to Willie, you thought he'd be one of the ones you'd want to be coming onto it. But unfortunately, he went for the side-footed option and leaning back. Now, he was under pressure, but leaning back and just cleared the bar, but closer than the free kick, so maybe third time lucky for Willie Armstrong as the game progresses.
Yeah, Noah Baba just having a little bit of attention there, the former Irish under-21 international. Out of Waterford 5 seasons back, and spent a bit of time at Fulham, Birmingham, Macclesfield. Started out his career at Castlebar Celtic.
And the owner of car registration 131L1003, please return to the car. That's 131L1003, please return to your car.
Seamus Keogh then to take the throw-in for Finn Harps. Alec Byrne cuts this one out. Ryan Flood, the goal scorer, tries to move it over to Kevin Jordan on the far side of the park. Treaty United win this one down, and Conor Barry comes away with it. Barry tries to flick it in field. Stephen Christopher does well here. Claims of a handball, but nobody's listening to the Treaty bench. Here's Alec Byrne. Mark Ludden looks for it. Bit of urgency about Treaty's play now. Willie Armstrong tries to cut inside Seamus Keogh, but he can't control it, and it comes back to Anto O'Donnell. O'Donnell, a long delivery, but that's too high for Willie Armstrong. The Kappa White man has it now, back to Mark Ludden. Ludden back to Armstrong. Did well to try and get a chest on that, but Noah Baba gets it away. And Felipe de Silva and Stephen Christopher in a duel in the middle of the park. The referee sees nothing wrong with it, and then de Silva just nudges Christopher off it, and he definitely seemed to lean with his elbow there, but the referee allows play to go. Flood gets away a shot. It comes off Anto O'Donnell. It'll be a corner kick to Finn Harps. But you sense there that Treaty were a bit incensed by the fact that they won a free kick, Tommy.
Yeah, they were indeed, and whether they have a case or not, it isn't my point anyway. I think they have to play the whistle, and there was no whistle. And they both stood up on the two occasions that it may have been. I'm not saying it wasn't. It may have been a free kick. I thought once you don't get it, you got to get the ball back, and it allowed Finn Harps to break. And as I say, Ryan Flood, we've already seen what a decent strike he has. Unfortunately, got a deflection, but it's a corner now to Harps.
Yes, and Flood it is who's going to take it. 18 minutes gone on the watch here at the Marcus Field in this SSE Air League First Division encounter. Streaty United 0, Finn Harps 1. This one is delivered to the back post. Up they rise. And that header eventually is cleared, but the ball is launched back in by Michael Harris. And it's easy in the end for Shane Hallan to pick that particular one. A long delivery looking for the head of Willie Armshaw, but Seamus Keogh is back there for Finn Harps. Flood getting ahead on that for the visitors, and Treaty United's Mark Ludden craftily wins the free kick for the home side. Keith Cohen got up there at the end of that corner kick, but here's a fast free kick now. Willie Armshaw just not paying attention to Mark Ludden's speedy delivery, and the opportunity is spurned by Treaty. Anto O'Donnell back in the side tonight. Did well when introduced last week, Tommy, in the defeat against Galway United, but the game was done and dusted at that point. Yeah,
it was, and it was no harm in getting him back in, because he'd be pushing to be a regular, in fairness.
Lovely knock on by Enda Kern there, but it won't go to Conor Barry, it'll go to Tim Heemer. Goalkeeper well off his line and anticipating what was going to happen there.
Yeah, and he's certainly badly needed with young Spain being suspended, and also Ben O'Riordan being suspended, two of the mainstays of the Treaty back four. So to be able to bring in Anto is a huge bonus and a relief, I'm sure, for Tommy Barrett.
Nice play by Treaty, but at the end they can't find Enda Kern. It comes back to Conor Barry. His first season at the Markets Field, having come from Wexford. O'Donnell looks for the feet of Armshaw. Armshaw takes it in, and the referee spots a handball, and I think every Finn Harps player helped him out there, Tommy, the referee, in making that decision. But the ball just came up and...
it did, yeah. Off his touch, it came up and hit him on the hand, but as I said, I think that's the rule now, isn't it? That if you kind of, whether accidentally or purposely divert the flight of the ball, it's going to be given as a free kick.
Baba then to his skipper, 37-year-old Keith Cowan. Vastly experienced in League of Ireland football. And De Silva and Nwankwo in that particular battle, and it's the Treaty centre-back who wins the throw-in in his 10th appearance, and he won't be happy with that penalty concession when he reflects on it, Tommy, because as we said, it didn't look as if there was any imminent danger when Sean O'Donnell got on the ball just outside the box, and he went into the box, and Nwankwo just made it easy for referee Paul Norton to award the spot kick.
He did indeed, but you're looking for others. I suppose he had so much time on the ball that others think he's dealing with it, but you've still got to give a shout man on, and he might have got that small bit of urgency, but he's up against the battle now tonight in De Silva, because De Silva, pretty same height-wise, would be much the same, but he's physical and he's quick, and he's looking for contact all the time, even chasing lost causes into corners. He's putting Darren and the other defenders under pressure. So a different proposition for Darren to deal with tonight.
Here's Lee Devitt for Treaty. Devitt does well in the middle of the park. Needs support now. Gets a good delivery out to Mark Ludden, who would take the forward position into Willie Armshaw. They're definitely combining well. Here's a touch for Dean George, but he can't do anything with it, and it's the goal scorer Ryan Flood who brings it away and looks for movement on the right side. It's cut out by Anto O'Donnell. Mark Ludden gets on it. Ludden's effort is blocked by Michael Harris, and with Dave Rogers looking for a throw-in, the referee and the assistant referee and the fourth official aren't impressed. It'll be a Treaty United throw-in.
But he's out there. I'm watching, and Dave, and he's He's heading every ball, he's kicking every ball, he's encouraging every player on the pitch. He hasn't stopped since the game has started, encouraging all around him and berating when he's not happy, and the fourth officials, everybody is...
Well, it's 13 years since he donned a Limerick FC jersey here at the Markets Field. Dave Rogers, the Liverpudlian. He's had a whole swathe of clubs that he's been involved with, but brought in at the start of the season and given a pretty long-term contract. But things haven't been going Finn Harps' way, as evidenced in the table so far. 5 points adrift of Treaty United on 14 points after 15 games. Here's Keogh looking for a bit of movement now and gets a throw in close to the Treaty end line there. 21-year-old Seamus Keogh spent a spell with Sligo in 2021 and a bit of time with Southampton, both at underage level, under 19 level, and also with the Southampton B team, and started out his playing days with the Sligo under 19s. A long throw from Keogh, not in the Mark Ludden variety, but it comes back out to him from Mark Ludden, and Keogh wins the throw off Willie Armshaw. So the pressure continues on the Treaty United defence. And you get a sense, Tommy, after 25 minutes here at the Markets Field, the Finn Harps are really bossing Treaty around the park.
Yeah, they certainly are, and they look very comfortable now. I hope it's not the kiss of death or anything, but they're looking comfortable at the minute, and Treaty need to get the ball down and get a few passes together. I mean, we've got a few attacks down the left-hand side here. I'd still like to see us use Conor Barry and Stephen Christopher a bit more and get the ball out to them, because I think they can unlock this. They're both good ball carriers. They're both good dribblers and crossers of the ball. And we just need to find ways of getting them involved in the game.
Yeah, Shane Hallahan now, the sun is... definitely affecting the keeper. We said this before, Tom. You can't understand why a goalkeeper wouldn't have a hat on a sunny night, but Shane doesn't have one on at the moment, and he delivers a ball into the middle of the park where it's broken up there by Mashigo firstly, and Finn Harps tried to get Kevin Jordan going down the left flank, but the ball goes out of play. It'll be a throw in to Treaty United on the Gary Owen side of the ground here at the Markets Field. Lee Devitt, skipper the side earlier in the season for Treaty in the absence of Mark Ludden. A bit of confusion back there at the back, and eventually Anto O'Donnell has a word with Shane Hallahan, but O'Donnell had to play the ball, but obviously felt he didn't get a call from his keeper.
I know, but it sorry, Leonard, that confusion has just come because of Mashigo's willingness to chase it, when others might have thought, oh, centre half has it. He was willing to put pressure on Anto O'Donnell and cause that upset between himself and Shane Hallahan. And
nice play there by Treaty, and Noe Baba is forced to head that one out for a throw-in. Ludden again busy as ever into Enda Curran in the box. Enda Curran holds it up, turns, has a pot even, and
great effort.
Turn well.
Yeah.
Got away shot, but straight at the keeper. Either side might have forced Hemer to do a bit of work.
Yeah, that was it. Anywhere else, a couple of yards either side of him, it might have been a different story. But good ball in, and he held off the defender and rolled him really well. And on his weaker left side, got a decent enough shot. Unfortunately, straight at him.
Long delivery again over Nwankwo, and Hallahan has to come out to the edge of his area. He was outside his box, used his foot. Dave Rogers was saying the foot was up, but bit of hesitancy from Nwankwo under pressure from Michael Harris. So as you said, Tommy, Darren Nwankwo finding it a little bit difficult tonight, unusual for the former Ashling and Akati youth, because he's been sublime for Treaty United in his 9 appearances to date, but just one of those nights for him so far when things aren't going his way.
That's right, yeah, and he's just got to get the players around him. He's got senior players either side of him and in front of him, like they've just got to get on and say, right, dust yourself down and go again. That's done. You can't help what's gone on now. You can't help the penalty decision. You can't help your man after closing you down there and getting the other side. The next piece of play, the next bit of action is the most important bit, and that's what he's got to start. he's just looking a bit lonesome out there at the minute. And again, he's just on his heels.
He does well there under pressure from Mikey Harris.
Yeah. But there,
again, Anto O'Donnell under a bit of pressure from Keogh, but manages to get away amid screams of handball. And a lot of energy at the Finn Harps bench, and we had this last week, Tommy, when Galway United were visitors. John Caulfield and a former Harps manager, Ollie Horgan, were both very vociferous and were trying to ref the game from the dugout. In contrast to Treaty United, where Tommy Barrett says very little and does seem to do his talking in the dressing room, both prior to the game and at half time in the games.
Yeah, you would think so, but and I don't know does it work, but the berating of them. But I mean, if it gets out of hand, and I'm not saying that Dave Rogers, I mean, he's 20 yards outside his area now at the minute. He should be told to get back in his box. But last week, I mean, you had both Ollie Horgan and John Caulfield out and about, and I would call it berating officials and everyone else. And you're allowed one person outside the box, and that's the fourth official's job, and he didn't do it last week. And if he steps out of hand, it's up to him to tell Dave Rogers or call the referee and say, hold on, he's gone a step too far, and to deal with it. But if you can get away with it, then by all means carry on.
Lovely ball from the Wankwo, who seems to have put his earlier in different form behind him. Armshaw now into Dean George at the edge of the box. George's effort though is cut out there. Good defending by Harps, and trying to break now, and they get a bit of movement over to this side. Sean O'Donnell, the man who won the spot kick for Harps, runs at Anto O'Donnell, tries to beat the Treaty defender, fails to do so, but it's at the expense of a throw-in to Finn Harps. And I know prior to the game, Enda Curran was rather jokingly talking about maybe a water break in this contest, Tommy, but it is a warm, balmy evening here at the Marcus Field, and the game has been played at a good pace so far.
It certainly is. It hasn't let up, and it's box to box, but good play by the young lad Seamus Keogh there. And what I liked about that was Sean O'Donnell, the minute he got the ball in a wide position, he ran straight at Anto and backed him up till he was in the box. And then you've got to be careful as a defender. There was no hesitation at all in trying to get into the penalty box, and really impressive for me for what looks to be quite a young enough player.
Yeah, just 19 years of age since the 2nd of May, so just barely 19. Karen Donovan. Stephen Christopher looking for some joy on the left flank now for Treaty United. Bit of pressure applied by Enda Curran, but it'll be a throw into Finn Harps. And Seamus Keogh back defending for the visitors. And a free kick for Finn Harps.
It's harsh.
Boy, Baba, not for the first time this evening. Going down in a heap.
But he's ran across him. He hasn't raised his leg at all. We've seen high legs up here, and he hasn't given it. And he's given a free kick up here for a high leg, an actual stud showing incident there on Anto O'Donnell in the last 5 minutes. And to be fair, he's running at pace trying to get a block across Enda and he hasn't raised. He's ran across in front of the player, and the player has carried on and kicked Enda, which he's clearing the ball his entire. But Enda hasn't done anything there, and he's got himself booked. And no wonder Tommy's upset, as I say, when there was an incident at the edge of the other box in the last couple of minutes.
So yellow card for Enda Curran, and that water break, whether it was scheduled or not, there is a water break now, just gone the half-hour mark here at the Markets Field. Both sides taking water on board, and probably those that were looking in this evening on League of Ireland television, the quiz question might be, was there a water break in the game between Finn Harps and Treaty United in May 2023? Or maybe a more telling question that appears in the match programme tonight, when Limerick on their way to the League of Ireland in 1980 beat Finn Harps, coming from 2 goals down at Ballybofey to win by 3 goals to 2. And Gary Spain, that eminent historian involved with the FAI, and also a great supporter of soccer on Shannon's side, a programme collector and historian. There's an interesting piece in this evening's programme where he's talking about 25-minute spell that really changed the season for the Limerick side back then and resulted in them turning a 2-goal deficit into a 3-2 victory, with Des Kennedy being sprung from the bench. Des, a regular at the Marcus Field these days, supporting Treaty United. But Des was on the score sheet. Was he on it once or was he on it twice? Some suggestion that Ger Duggan might have got a goal, but the winner came from the then player manager Owen Hand, who I know is a regular viewer of League of Ireland television, Owen down in my van in Kerry. Former Republic of Ireland manager, of course. Meanwhile, Finn Harps were back with the action, clearing their lines. Darren Nwankwo with a powerful header, met by Flood, and Flood's header comes to O'Donnell, and O'Donnell on the right side now. Again, difficulty for Anto O'Donnell. O'Donnell slides in, and that'll be a yellow card for Anto O'Donnell, and he can have no complaints about that particular one. And you mentioned earlier Sean O'Donnell looking lively, running at Anto O'Donnell. Well, he did it again there, Tommy, and now Anto O'Donnell is to be very, very careful. 35 minutes in.
Yeah, again getting it on the halfway line, and as I said, direct as you like, but and he backed him up and did go past him. And Anton, again, while there may have been a minimal contact, contact ended up in there being a free kick just outside the box, and you would expect Ryan Flood on his left leg. I would be expecting Ryan Flood on his left leg to be trying to work Shane Hallahan here again.
Yeah, Ryan Flood standing over it. Movement in the box now. Shane Hallahan does have a hat on. Flood hits one. Oh, that's a cracker. Comes off the back stanchion. There was no chance there for Hallahan. He looked to have it, the keeper, but it went round the wall. Keeper got a hand to it, but couldn't keep it out. And it's 2-0 to Harps here, and a second for Ryan Flood on the night, and a smashing strike from him. I think Tommy Barrett will be looking at the goalkeeper's part in that. Yeah. Tommy, he did get a hand to it, but it didn't seem a very strong hand.
Yeah, it's, you don't want to, but if you are to point a finger of blame, if that's the word, I think the keeper himself isn't happy with his own part in it. You can see by his reaction there, Shane Hallahan, he's not happy with how he's dealt with the free kick. It's good strike, good power in it, but it's on the keeper's side, and I think he'll be disappointed. And like I say, disaster for Treaty, 2-0 down.
And I suppose, in fairness to the keeper, Anto O'Donnell, with the indiscretion that caused the free kick. Meanwhile, Stephen Christopher tries to get something going, and you sense that Treaty United definitely need to get the next goal here to keep this contest alive. Enda Kern tries one. Beautiful save. Beautiful effort as well by Enda Kern, but an excellent save by Tim Heemer. And he's one of the reasons why Harps have stayed in games this season. And again, Tommy probably either side of the keeper and was in, but it was a good strike.
Great strike, and he had to adjust his gun. It's going in under the crossbar, and to be fair, he's not the tallest of keepers. I mean, we're looking at him there now as the corner comes in.
Conor Barry and Mark Ludden, between them, can't get the ball across because there's good defensive play there by Michael Harris. Eventually the ball does come in. Nwankwo gets a head on it, and Anto O'Donnell can't get at it at the back post for Treaty United, but Treaty showing some urgency again.
Yeah.
That goal for Ryan Flood, incidentally, brings him now to 4 for the season, so he's joint top scorer, or co-top scorer with Ryan Rainey and Philippe De Silva. Really, of course, missing out tonight, and probably might have been taking that spot kick if he had been in the starting 11. But Ryan Flood will remember his visit to the Markets Field for all the right reasons, because with 38 minutes gone here now, His 2 goals separate the sides in tonight's game. Brought to you in association with M&C Property here on League of Ireland Television. It's Treaty United 0, Finn Harps 2. It's a free kick to Treaty, taken by Darren Wankwo. He to Mark Ludden. Ludden tries to play a diagonal ball to Conor Barry, and Barry took his eye off it momentarily. Kevin Jordan looked as if he was going to get a touch, but didn't. But it all ends up in a throw-in to Finn Harps. So Treaty in a little bit of disarray, Tommy.
They are. It was unfortunate there. I think Jordan just did enough. He made a shape to go and get the ball and then pulled out at the last minute. And I think
this ball is flicked in the direction of Sean O'Donnell. Looked to me as if he had moved into an offside position when that ball came through from Ryan Flood. But no flag, and the game continues. Here's Enda Curran takes a knock from Mashigo. And I think Enda was falling before the contact was even made there, Tommy. But it is a free kick.
It is indeed, yeah. And as I say, it's 20 yards inside the half and maybe 20 yards away from the edge of the box. And Treaty's 2 best chances have come from Enda with his back to the goal and being able to spin, shoot, one with his left leg, one with his right leg. And they need to keep him in there and keep him central, because he is able to take the ball in and he is able to roll his marker. So that's got to be a way back for Treaty, to try and feed Enda into his feet and let him do the magic that he can do.
Ludden's free though comes to naught, and it's a quick throw in for Treaty, taken by Alec Byrne to Dean George, who's been quite enough tonight for the home side. George can't do anything with that, and the ball eventually De Silva, who seems to be doing well in shielding the ball tonight. I think Stephen Christopher is going to pick up a yellow card for his tugging there.
Yeah, good play. But again, he's not a natural defender, and at times you don't have to get tight. By getting tight to De Silva knows where you are. You just got to spend. If he's a yard in front of you, so be it. He's 70 yards from the Treaty goal, 20 yards inside his own half. Just let him face his own goal, but you get tight, he's able to roll you, and
he's a bustling type of player.
He is.
And it seems to.
He's upset a few, and
he's done well there with that header into the path of Michael Harris. Harris can't control it, but he seems to be able to bit of hustle and bustle and unnerve defenders, and the referee seems quite happy with it. Other referees mightn't be as happy with the way the striker tends to lean into players, but he knows what he's about. A long delivery now, looking for Dean George, and Ryan Flood back doing a bit of defending at the back, and Keith Cowan, the skipper, puts that one out for a throw.
Yeah, he is. I'm very impressed with him. He's pacey. He takes the knocks. He's not afraid. He backs in. He's been bustled off it a few times, but he's a strong physical unit, and he's more than causing problems to all and sundry in the Treaty defence.
Now, long delivery from Mark Ludden. Enda Curran was doing a bit of nudging in the box and managed to free himself up, but couldn't get a header on goal. And that one goes all the way out for
just off balance, but you needed somebody. I mean, Conor Barry is hanging around in case it breaks on the penalty spot. You needed someone coming in behind Enda, just in case what happened, where the ball clears him and the centre half, and it goes harmlessly out for a goal kick out by the corner flag, and it just takes the whole momentum out of Treaty's attack there.
So goals in the 12th and 36th minute. And what it does in terms of the table is that it does move Finn Harps to within 2 points of Treaty United as things stand, but a long way to go in this particular contest. That'll be a throw in to the Shannonsiders. Elsewhere, Galway United lead Athlone Town by a goal to nil. Bray Wanderers and Cove Ramblers are tied at 1 apiece. Wexford FC 2 up, and Kerry Nawankwo gets a head on here. It's easy for Ryan Flood to get away. Mark Ludden now decides to clip it back into the box, and the Curran goes up and goes down. Treaty looking for a penalty. The referee sees a bit of a coming together there between himself and Shane McMonigal, but I don't think he's anyway impressed as to whether it might be a spot kick or not. But there was a coming together. There might have been a flailing hand, and then the Curran going down.
Yeah, I don't think there was nothing in it. I think he missed. He went for the ball. He mistimed it, in my opinion, and but had a good spring on him trying to adjust it, and just got knocked off balance slightly when he was in up in the air and landed awkwardly, and a worry now for Treaty because he has been the one bright spark up front. He looks to be the one threat that might unlock the Harps defence.
And the league leaders, Galway United, won up in their game, and that came from a David Hurley penalty. He was on the mark here at the Marcus Field last weekend for the Tribesmen, and he's done the business again for Galway United. Same time as here at the Marcus Field. 12 minutes in, Hurley with that spot kick for the league leaders. Waterford FC, of course, in Longford Town in action tomorrow. And Wexford FC, who Treaty United meet in their next home game here. Well, they're 2-2 against Kerry down at Mount Hawk Park. And it's even Stephen at the Carlisle grounds between Bray Wanderers and Cove Ramblers, one apiece in that particular one. Back here at the Marcus Field, the referee, Paul Norton from Dublin, will restart with a drop ball. And nobody will be near Tim Emer, who's kept clean sheet so far this evening, and he's telling his Finn Harps front players to start moving around. Treaty have a bank of 4, Harps have a bank of 3 up there. Ball is with Hemer now. He's going to walk out to the edge of his area, and one suspects he's going to drive this one long. There's a brilliant sunshine here at the Marcus Field in on top of Shane Hallan. This one is directed in the direction of De Silva. It comes off the boot of Stephen Christopher. It's a throw-in to Finn Harps. The fourth official about to signal what additional time we're going to have. Darrell Carlin, 44 minutes played here at the Markets Field. We're in the 45th. Since there's going to be a little bit of added time anyway, Tommy, it'll be a disappointing opening 45 minutes for the home side. They really don't have anything to show for their effort, and they find themselves trailing by 2-0 against a team that were coming into the game out of form, as it were, but who seem to have the Indian sign on the Treaty United side this season. 2 minutes additional time posted now by Darrell Carlin. And we got the word from Paul Norton.
Yeah, you're right, Leonard. They may be ninth in the table, but I think if I'm to be honest, or we're to be honest, I think they showed a greater urgency in trying to get at Treaty and getting the ball down and in playing. And again, excellent work by the
De Silva does well. Finds Harris here. Harris goes into the box, goes by a couple of players. Hallan has to make an excellent save. Comes back to De Silva, and this time Nwanko gets it away. And Harps smelling blood now. And Treaty United eventually managed to defend it. And that could give them a bit of urgency. They're running out of time at the end of the half, of course. But could that have been a turning point to the game? De Silva causing all sorts of bother. Sean O'Donnell now, in it comes in the direction of Harris. Again Hallan in a 1-to-1 does well. Out it comes, and in the end O'Donnell fires one in. But in a couple of minutes there, in just a space of 60 seconds, it could have been 3-0 to Finn Harps.
Absolutely, and all because De Silva has won a header that he shouldn't have won. I think when Treaty were trying to shepherd it out for a throw, he wasn't willing to let it go out. Won the header, played it in field, and in that first attack, they must have had 4 opportunities. Great save by Hallan, but they had, when it broke, they had another opportunity. We got blocks in, good blocks, good defending. Darren Nwanko cleared him one, Lee Devitt cleared him one, the keeper cleared him one, and then it's come out again and they've attacked. So worrying signs, but all because the hunger and the willingness to.
Nwanko does well on this occasion. De Silva leaning in, but pretty much down to the last 15 seconds. Enda Kern needlessly gets involved there. Needs to be careful. Enda Kern just pushed Mashigo. Mashigo went down. I don't think there was much.
That's a disgrace.
There was much in that, but.
No.
If you're on a yellow card, you can't be getting involved like that, Tommy.
No, you can't, but I mean, he's gone down as if he's been poleaxed. There's nothing. The referee did well there, just told him to get up and cop himself on. I hope he told him to cop himself on, because there was nothing at all in that. And
last play then of the half, delivered by Hallan. Curran gets ahead, and Nwanko gets a touch. It's gone behind, and you suspect with that Paul Norton will signal for half time, and indeed he does. So, Tommy, the end of 45 minutes here, where Finn Harps are deserving of that 2-goal lead.
Yeah, you can't say they're not, Leonard, and as I say, it's down to what I believe They've shown a greater urgency, a greater passion, a greater willingness to chase lost causes, to put defenders under pressure. And when they get their chances, they've taken the two of them, 2 dead balls. But unfortunately for young Nwankwo, he got caught, and that's going to happen. He learned lessons, I guarantee. Or I'd hope in time he'll get caught again. But it's a harsh lesson to learn, and as long as he learns from the lesson, then it'll be a lesson well learned. But he's always looked accomplished. He's always looked steady and really good player, and he hasn't tonight. He's a bit flat-footed to me. He's waiting for the ball to come to him instead of attacking it. But in the Silva, you've got an attacker who just wants to run at you. He chases lost causes. Really good worker, and I'm really impressed with him up front.
Half time then at the Markets Field in the SSE Electricity League First Division and League of Ireland Television. It's Treaty United 0, Finn Harps, courtesy of 2 Ryan Flood goals. The first of those from the spot on 12 minutes following a foul by Darren Nwankwo on Sean O'Donnell, and a second from a free kick after Anto O'Donnell had given away a free kick just on the edge of the area, dispatched with his left leg by Ryan Flood for his second of the evening, his 4th of the season. And it all means that it's an uphill battle for the home side here as they trail at half-time in tonight's SSE Electricity League First Division game, brought to you in association with M&C Property here at the Markets Field. At half-time, it's Treaty United 0, Finn Harps 2. Rejoin us in around about 15 minutes for commentary on the second half here on Shannon's side.